So, a little bit of exhaust noise from the 6930 there just as we come up the lane. Alright, so I took a bit of time lapse now just as I'm driving through kind of the outskirts of Dundalk. Well, not really the outskirts, we're just on the Castleton Road here for anyone who knows it, heading up the old Echo Road. And this is the route I take just when heading up to RD. I could probably go on the motorway if I wanted to, but it's not really that much quicker. Yes, it would be in a car if you were able to do 120 kilometers an hour, but for the tractor it's not much quicker. And then there's the added hassle of sometimes if you met a contrary guard you might get stopped. So here we've made it up to RD now at this point. We're just pulling around now to come on to the weighbridge here where we're getting our meal. I'm travelling very slowly here, I don't know why, but yeah, just as I say, pulling up now, we're going to get weighed in and we're going to get filled. So weighbridge here now is on the right hand side. I slowly pull in. I think the teleporter was out at the main road and it passes me now any second. The Manitou from memory. And there it is, yes it was. So yeah, I pull up now, get weighed, and then it's a matter of just pulling over and getting loaded. So loading today was a little bit slower than the last day. The last day we had two teleporters loaded. We had the JCB, the large JCB and the Manitou. So I was loading up in a minute the last day. But it took a few minutes off. The Manitou here. The bucket on it takes quite the load as well. The bucket on the JCB I think takes about 4 tons. This here probably takes 2 tons or maybe 2.5 tons. You can see the JCB is just going to wash there on the far side of the trail. So this is nearly finished now. You always tap it down, put another wee bit in, then tap it down again just to fill the trailer up nice and full. Yeah, lovely Manitou and teleporter as well. I think on the trailer this time round we had around, I'm just trying to remember now because it's a couple of days ago, it was around 11 tonne on it, so not too bad, a good load, and that'll do us about 2.5 weeks or so roughly, I suppose, at the rate we're feeding the meal at the minute. Yeah, so that's this part of the bicycle.
So we're just en route back home, got the maize meal all loaded up alright. Weighed, as you've seen, we got just a little over 11 tonne on the trailer, so a nice load to have back home. Took the 6.9 with me today, no 3650 as I mentioned in the last video. Did save a little bit of time going up, probably shaved about 10 or 12 minutes off the journey up, but coming home not really much quicker because there's only a certain speed you can do with ground maize meal in an open top trailer, and that speed is roughly around 38 kilometers an hour, which is only slightly faster than what you're doing in the 3650, so it's basically the same speed coming home. We've never had a cover on any of our trailers, probably should have one. Maybe the next trailer, if we ever purchase a trailer, we'll put a cover on it. It just stops. You travel full tilt with ground maize meal, your speed obviously causes that little bit of a wind that will blow the top off the ground maize, and it wouldn't take that much before you'd have a few hundred kilos blew off the top of it, and at the cost of it, you don't want that happening. You don't want your feet disappearing away. But yeah, apart from that's really the only thing that slowed us down coming home. So just going to get back to the yard now, going to reverse in and tip it out. Bottom of this trailer will have been wet from laying outside, so we'll probably have to scrape the trailer out, which is not get in and scrape it out. It's not an ideal job, but we'll see how it goes when we tip it off. But yeah, we'll be back to the yard now in a couple of minutes, and yeah, get into position, get reversed in and get tipped off. Yeah, but that's the only thing really that slowed us up coming back. If we had to have that cover, we could have come home at full tilt. Yeah, basically now just coming up to the lane. We'll be home now in about a minute. We'll get reversed in, we'll get it tipped up and get it into position in the shed. This trailer was parked outside, and with all the rain we had over the last few days, the bottom of it was all wet. So I'd imagine that we're going to have a little bit of stuff stuck to the bottom of it. We may have to get in and just scrape it out. We'll see once we've tipped off. So yeah, come back to me when we've tipped off. Alright, so that is the maize meal tipped. Nice pile of stuff. Let's have a wee look in here and just see what the trailer is like. It's not too bad actually. A little bit up the front. I'll get in there and sweep it out anyway, and it'll just mean that all the maize will be gone because the trailer's going to be parked outside anyway, and if you leave some in it, it rains in it, it's going to wash out the next time you open the door anyway. So, but good to have the maize tipped there, and that keeps us good to go for another couple of weeks. Okay, so it's the following day and I'm in the teleporter. I'm just heading now after loading up the round bales of silage onto the low loader. It's a little bit tight over where we were loading the bales, so it's hard to just get any footage. I couldn't get the drone up to take some footage because it's getting along the road, there's a lot of trees around it and it just doesn't suit for taking footage. So I will get the drone up now when I get down to the yard where the cows are when we're offloading, and get a bit of footage of that. I'll probably voice over that. I'll be putting in some bales. I'll take a bit of footage of putting the bales in, and also I'll voice over a wee bit over that. That'll be all together in the next clip that you'll see. And then at the end we'll come back down and I'll do a bit of video now. I'll show you the cows that's down on that out farm, as I do call it sometimes. Yeah, we can have a look at the cows there and just what we're feeding them and how they're doing. And then the last part of this video, of course, will be the new Olight that I've been sent out. It's a new head torch with a strap and all on it, so I'll show you that. A really nice light, and we'll go through that and some of the deals they've got coming up now for Black Friday. So that'll be the last part of the video. So let's get down here and get these bales off. Oh, I really need to wash the windows in this. It's not really much of an issue when you're loading the feeder at night, but once it comes daytime and the sun hits it, can't see a thing.
Okay, so here we are, we're just starting to do the offloading. We've 20 bales back in the yard. That's all we took. We could have took, we put 18 on the low loader, we could have put 24 on it, but we didn't really need 24 on the low loader and then another 2 on the teleporter. It would have meant that we'd have a lot of bales spiked, busted, or punctured if you like, and we'd probably have enough bales then in this yard that would do us till about Christmas. So you'd have bales there punctured for 3 or 4 weeks before they'd be used. At least with the 18 that we took and the 2 on the teleporter, it just means that within 2.5 weeks they should all be used up. You know, 2.5 to almost 3 weeks they'll all be used. And if in a week and a half or 2 weeks time we get a chance, we can do the same run again, and that'll take us then away into the new year. So it's kind of just the way that we looked at it. It would be better than having too many there busted, we'll just stagger it out that way. But yeah, first run that the low loader has got. These bales are quite heavy. I do mention a little bit later on that this was these bales were almost hay, and forecast as it did all year. We'd 2 or 3 dry days, I think it was at the time, or maybe even 4 dry days. It was quite a heavy crop. The forecast then changed. We ended up then that we had to bale it a little bit early, and actually when I was baling it just started to rain, so it did get wet. So the bales are heavy. You can see I screwed the baler up. I knew we were going to be using them ourselves. They're really heavy, solid bales, and it was a good test for the low loader. I didn't weigh the bales to just see what weight's in them, but I'd be hazarding a guess that they're probably about 600 maybe kilos a piece. They could even be slightly more than that. They are heavy. So as I say, it was a good test for the low loader. Handled them no problem. Was easy to pull with that kind of weight on it. And of course then the brakes working superbly well. Great brakes on it. As you would expect there would be, as this teleporter, this low loader has 3-axis braking. So yeah, Dad was driving it. He said he was very impressed with it and extremely happy with how it all handled and manoeuvred, which is always great. So yeah, that's always a bonus. So here we are putting in some of these bales. Now this shed, anyone who remembers it from before, it is very, very tight. I don't think I did a video really on it last year, but would have been the year before. I had some footage of coming in and out of it. You can see how tight it is. It's just, there's 1.5 inches each side. It feels tighter even than what it looks here as I'm driving into it, if that's possible. When we're putting the bales in, we used to just put them straight down the middle, but it meant that you had half the bale that the cows couldn't really get at, or maybe a little bit more than half the bale in the centre. It left a lot of grape and it left a lot of work. And what we try to do now is, even though there's not really much room to do it, as you put the bale up, just at the very end, stretch the boom out and kind of just flick the steering, and you'll get the bale either to the left or right, depending on which side you start on. You'll get it, just so you start off on the left hand side, you'll get this bale just a couple of foot over towards the left. Hook it off, the next bale comes in, you kind of stagger it over then and do the same, and you leave it over towards the right. And it just means that you've got about 1/3 of the bale left that the cows don't eat and that you have to grape in. It just leaves it a little bit easier. Now, you have to be very careful that you don't damage a wheel or catch a mudguard or something like that. But if you do it carefully, it works out okay. But yeah, look, it's not simple, but I remember the first time we come down here, I just thought it would never work. I didn't think the teleport would work in and out of it. But now that I'm used to it, I have to say, I don't really pass much remarks of it. It's just how it is, and you know it fits. You know where to watch. You know what you have to watch for, and it's just kind of like that. But yeah, we put in 8 bales this evening. As I say, these are good heavy bales. There's a lot of stuff in them. And the cows seem happy enough with it, and it should be just interesting now to see just how long they do. Will they do longer now? This kind of coarse silage that it is, will it do longer than the grassier silage we were using before this? So it'll be interesting just to see. But yeah, that's really all for this part of the video. I do a little bit of a talk now, just looking at the cows, a quick look at the cows and a look at the silage itself now in a second. So I'll leave you with the teleporter sounds, and you can pick it up at the next part of the video. Alright, so that's the bales offloaded. done and dusted. It's bitterly cold. I've got my jumper. I've shaved and had a haircut over the last few days, so feeling the cold without a doubt. So cows, these are the ones that's out on the out farm getting fed bales. Having to put bales in about once every, I suppose every 6 days or so, 5 or 6 days, putting in about 8 bales at a time. And yeah, so this is suckler cows. These are all due to calve in around March, I suppose you could say, middle of March, end of March. And this here feed that they're getting is, this was supposed to be hay, but due to poor weather conditions all year, like a lot of other bits of hay, it ended up being built up a little bit early. Needed another day and a half, probably 2 days, before it would have been completely 100% fit. And obviously we didn't get that, so we ended up having to bail it up a little bit early. Now there is an absolutely lovely smell of it, but it is coarse. You'd know that it was stuff that was dried out, almost made it to hay, and then had to be baled up early. Actually, when I was in the field baling it, it just started to spit rain as I was about halfway through, so it had been forecast, we knew it had been coming, and it was a salvage operation. But there's about 43 or 4 bales I think in total, and it's all going to be used up now with the cows over the next number of weeks. We'll keep these cows out here on this farm or in this shed until after Christmas, and then at that stage should have enough space then freed up at home to get them back home. There's 30 down here, that's 15 on each side, so that's what we are feeding down here. So there's a bit of looking after them, a bit of graping in every evening, but not the end of the world. It's good to have it and good to be able to keep them there. So that's it. I'm freezing cold, going to get out of here, so I'm going to go back to the yard, I'm going to get my jumper, and we'll have a look at this Olight light that has been sent out and go through that. Okay, so my friends over at Olight have sent me out a light to have a little look at. It coincides with a new flash sale that they have starting tonight, November 25th, starts at 8 PM, runs for the next few days, coincides with Black Friday, runs right up over the weekend. So, but I will have a little bit more details on that in a few minutes. Yeah, so Perun 2 sent me out this light. This is their new Perun 2 light. Perun 1 they had out last year. This in here has more light out of it, longer battery time and all that kind of stuff, so it's an improvement on the last light. As usual, as we open it, it has got all the very sleek Olight features, and there it is, lovely black light. Yeah, some nice features on this. Let's get this sitting here for a second before we get the strap out. Yeah, some lovely features on it. One of the really cool things about this light is the first one was the same, is that it's magnetized. So you're just going to start walking at something, you can magnetize it. Use the magnet to stick it to a steel surface. You can twist the light around wherever you're walking. Very, very useful little light. Handy little light too. You can pop it in your pocket. See, there's a little clip here. You can clip it on your belt. Easy to carry around. And yeah, just as usual, you can hold it to change a few different light settings. Has altogether there's 5 different light settings on it. It has all the details there. I'll just go through what the largest of the light settings are. We've got the turbo mode, which is 2,500 lumen, and that has a runtime of 175 minutes. So yeah, super light. But yeah, it says in the front here a throw of 166 meters, so it has quite the throw as well. So what we'll do is we'll have a little look at the head strap, which is now sent out with the light. I think on the previous lights it used to be an extra, you had to purchase it. So let's see if we can take the head strap out, and we'll just have a little look at that. There's just some instructions. This here then is your box with the charger. It will have the magnetic charger, like is kind of standard on a lot of the Olight, lights. So yeah, I haven't actually looked at this to see how it sets on, but it looks pretty simple. But you just slide it through. It's like got 2 rubber bands on it, we'll just take off the clip. We're not going to need it if we're going to put it on here. So yeah, 2 bands, hold it into place like so. Once you have it on there, then it's just very simple. It sits onto your head and you can adjust it then in position. So all very simple, all very usable. We'll do a little test on it now, you just see what it's like. But yeah, super little light. So we're going to just do a little darkness test and we'll check it out and see what we now. So here we go, just have it on and you can see the kind of light that we have out of it is quite a dark area of the shed. If we cover it over and then put it back on, so you can see great light out of it. This is going to be very useful little light when we're doing the work on this tractor, and yeah, it will be very useful to have. But yeah, great light out of it. You can see it there. Wherever, once it's set up in the head, then very useful. You can use it and direct the light wherever you want. So very useful. Okay, so big sale starts tonight. Flash sale, 25th of November at 8 PM. Runs right through until 30th of November at 11:59 PM. So you've got more than 5 days now to get your purchase made. This big sale coincides with Black Friday, which is now in a couple of days' time. And yeah, it's a great chance now. If you're looking for some Christmas presents, just a torch even for yourself, it's a chance to get some savings made. The main deals that there is on at the minute is on, obviously, the Perun that we've just looked at. It's available in black and orange. It's a multifunction light and it has a 30 quid saving. So there's like 30% off on it. So £30 saved, that's £30 sterling saved. Other lights then that there's savings on, the M2R PRO, there's 33 quid off it. The S1 or 2, there's also 20 quid off it. So it depends what you're looking for. Also then, if you bundle up some lights, Perun 2 with the i3T DT, there's 44 quid off on it, 40% off on it if you buy those two together on it. So great savings to be made. But I'll have a link down below, an affiliated link. Go in through there, it'll show you all the savings that there is, any purchases to make them through that link. I get a small commission on it if you do purchase through the link, so it helps me and helps the channel if you do that. Also, if any of the lights that you want isn't on sale, if you use the discount code Jerry10, which I'll also have down in the description, if you use that, you'll get 10% off on that particular light. So even if it's not for sale, you can still make a saving on a light. So, but yeah, as I say, go in through the affiliated link down in the description. That'll bring you onto the website. You'll see the whole list of all the lights that there is for sale, the bundles. Just have a look through, because you might be able to save more on 2 lights than 1. It's kind of, the more lights you purchase, the more money you save. It's just how it works. So you might be able to buy 2 lights for not much more than 1 light on its own. So check it out. Just go down through it, and yeah, hopefully you get something that you're looking for. But that's really it for today. If you're not already a subscriber, don't forget to hit the sub button. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. And we'll see you before the weekend with whatever we're at next. So see you then.